8:15. It'll be switching back to 7:15 from next week. Australian tennis hopes have been raised with Lleyton Hewitt's recent success in Brisbane, but will playing at home really increase his chances of winning the Australian Open? Sports economist, you don't think so, Liam Lenten from La Trobe University has been crunching the numbers on the home ground advantage, and he joins us now. Great to talk to you this morning, Liam. Why, first of all, did it occur to you to do some research into this home advantage phenomena?
Morning, Bev. Well, I guess it was motivated by several summers of watching the Open and being left nothing short of crestfallen summer after summer as local big shots ended up going out earlier than expected. And I wondered whether it was really just my expectations being too great because I factored in too much home ground advantage, or whether it was really something happening at the aggregate level that home ground advantage isn't all it really cracked up to be.
Statistician, and as statisticians do, what did you do when you crunched the numbers?
We used a database of Grand Slam and ATP matches, nearly 30,000 matches over a decade of tennis from '03, ending sometime last year. I put this together with a collaborator of mine in the UK, James Reade from the University of Reading, and what we did was we estimated the probability of victory for a given player. And you start from a base of looking at two equally ranked players playing on neutral ground, and you would hypothesise that the probability is 50% of victory for both players. And we found that home ground advantage was significant to the point where if you take the same two players, but one of them is then playing at home, their probability of victory rises to about 56.3%. But then, when we estimated the same kind of regression on the subsample of around about 2,000 matches from the Australian leg of the tour, we found that the probability of victory for an Australian player was substantially lower, more like 53.7%. And that's just an estimate. When you then account for the natural measurement error around it, we cannot definitively say that that number is greater than 50%, or in other terms, it's not significantly different to 50%.
So statistically, it really doesn't make a difference. But of course, I guess there's a psychology at play as well. Now, did you look only at Australian players, or with your other colleagues, did you look at how players fared in, say, the States or in England?
No, we didn't look at how Australian players performed in other places around the world, because that's not really home ground advantage, but we did re-estimate a number of different models looking at home ground advantage of players of other nations, and we did find, admittedly, that the Australian experience wasn't unique. When we looked at British players and German players, notably, that there was no home ground or significant home ground advantage there either. But for most of the other major tennis playing nations, such as the US, Italy, France, Spain, that home ground advantage was significant and it was strong.
All right, so shall we not jump on board Lleyton and Sam just at the moment?
Look, I wouldn't say that jumping on board these players is great, is a bad thing, but maybe it's something going on with a couple of the more highly ranked players. When we split the sample into players that were seeds and not seeds, we found that for Australian players, if you're not a seed, that there still is a home ground advantage, but that advantage gets wiped out if you are a seed. So maybe it's just that, among other things, that media attention and public attention on these players is so great that the pressure of playing at home, and it ends up consuming some of them, and that ends up cancelling out the home ground advantage that they'd otherwise enjoy.
Absolutely, I think you're spot on there. Great to talk to you. I'm looking forward to your next piece of research, Liam.
Thanks for having me again, Bev.
Oh, terrific. I think that's what Sam feels, that pressure, that home ground adventure where it really just doesn't help.
To cheer or not to cheer? I think we'll cheer.
Go cheer.